dafa bokk ci dunni doomu aadama te biir kat amul seetu waral na lépp lu fay dugg dafa war a doon li nga xamante ne ni lu indil doomu aadama bi loraange ci wàllu wérgu yaram. One Stop Water Solution Limited ñu ngi fii ci biir réew taxaw temm fexe pour gis ne doomu aadama bu ne di nga naan ndox moo xamante ne ni ndex mu sell te wóor la ndax indil nañ leen ay xeetu filtres yi nga xamante ne ni mun ngeen koy jëfandikoo ci seeni pompe yi ci biir réew moo xam booxool ngay jëfandikoo wala pompe nawek yi ne bépp xeetu filtre bi nga xamante ne ni dina la indil wérgu yaram musal la ci loraange amal nañ leen ko ci biir réew am nañ 10-inch filter set of 3 bii nag ñett lay àndal bu ci ne ak li muy liggéey bokk na ci 5 micron pp sediment filter bii nag mooy segg ndox mi ba mu set génne fa lépp li nga xamante ne ni warta ànd ak ndox moomu bala nga koy jëfandikoo gat granule carbon filter bii nag mooy segg génne lépp lu xeetoog chemical ak organique yi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo nekk ci biir ndox mi sellal ndox mi ba waral mu soppi li nga xamante ne moom la ndox mi di saf mu soppi cafin gi def ko ndox mu sell te óor CTO block carbon filter bii nag du yem rek ci segg ndox mi sellal ko ba mu sell waaye nag daf koy yokk ay ngéneel yi nga xamante ne ni day baax ci wérgu yaramu doomu aadama bi dëgëral waaye tamit yàggal lool sa yuur wi am nañ tamit 12-inch filter set of 3 boobu it liggéey bu nu mel lay def ñetti filter yépp benn bu ne ak lu muy liggéey am nañ 10-inch post carbon 10-inch coconut carbon 75 GPD pure one membrane bi amal nañ leen bépp xeetu water tank tàmbalee ko ci 500 litres 5000 ba ci 1000 litres ak plumbing fittings kon nag mbokk yi bu ngeen buggee naan ndex yu sell te wóor seeti leen One Stop Water Solution Limited suñu makkaan bu mag baa nga foofa ca Sukuta Highway Mariama Kunda Johnson wala nga call ñu ci 505 5691 796 8272 One Stop Water Solution Limited ndox mu set mooy yàggal dund ni doomu.
A very good morning to our viewers out there. You're watching this morning here on QTV. I am Ibrahim Balde, and we are back again. And I'm joined by my colleague Ansumana Eso Nyazi, as usual. Eso, welcome to this morning.
Good morning, Balde. Good morning to all our viewers out there. We're happy to be back again on your favorite platform this morning on QTV.
Absolutely. We are happy to be here again with you to bring you the newspaper review, community watch, and other interesting topics. It's very important. And on today's program, we have the African proverb as usual, and of course we'll be doing the newspaper review, the community watch, social issues. We'll be having all of these on the program, and of course Ade Drame will be here. So we'll be discussing sports as usual, and of course Buba Fati click segment is also on standby waiting for it. And Eso, yes. How was your day yesterday?
Not bad. I had a good rest, at least for most part of the day, so I am well fired up this morning.
I hope you are warming up and getting ready for the election.
Absolutely.
Up and down.
Very much of it. I mean, very prepared, and we're going to show all our viewers out there, and even our audience on Q Radio and online as well, that if they want the best election coverage, they know where to find it.
Well, there's no doubt about it. QTV is going to give you the best, because we are known to be a very reliable
and we're the leading media outlet out here, man.
Yes, a media outlet. I understand people, if they don't hear from QTV, they don't believe certain stories, you know. Interesting. That's how important we are. And so let's take a look at the African proverb. It has to do with tolerance.
Yes. It's one of my favorite segments on this show. So our proverb this morning reads, tolerance is not about not having beliefs. It is about how you treat people who disagree with you. Now, there's a reason why we've chosen that, and Mr. Mboj would expound more on that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so Momodu Mboj, what do you make of this?
Today is International Day for Tolerance.
Exactly.
UN designated day since 1996, and it's just so appropriate. It's so apt at this point, you know, in our politics, is it, where we're heading towards the elections. So it's really very appropriate that we've got today tolerance as your proverb. So I will follow your lead.
Well, it's important. I think it's a good one. Tolerance is not having belief. It is about how you treat people who disagree with you. When you look at the way people treat each other, sometimes you don't understand, Mr. Mboj, but it's about how you treat people who disagree with you. It's a very difficult one.
Absolutely.
Very difficult. Yeah. You disagree with me, and I have to treat you positively.
You know,
that's a difficult one.
When you talk about the beauty of Gambia, I mean, we pride ourselves in being the most hospitable people in the world. That's how I describe us. And that is because of, one, the tolerance that you find out here. I mean, you can hardly find anywhere.
Exactly.
So for me, it's about accepting. It's about, I mean, tolerating. It's about respecting other people and diverse views. And, you know, it doesn't matter whether you believe what the person believes or not, so long as you respect them and their beliefs, you know, and you accept them that way. For me, I think that is what tolerance is all about.
Yeah,
so,
and absolutely, you have UNESCO. They've got sort of 3 expressions. They call it 3 expressions of tolerance. You've mentioned one, acceptance of, but you see that's slightly different from the other 2. Respect for and appreciation of diversity, isn't it? The acceptance one, perhaps we can call that pragmatic tolerance. In that, you see, to accept something is not that difficult. Now, imagine the law says I cannot discriminate against people based on gender, religion, and all of these things. So I may hate you and all the rest of it, but I'm scared of the law, so I'll just accept. That is really the low end, the pragmatic stuff. But to move on to respect, that's a slightly more challenging aspect. Respect and appreciation in something that is different from what you believe. Now, that is the challenge for individual characters. I think it's very, very difficult, but this is it. I don't simply accept, I respect the difference, really, because democracy thrives on difference. I mean, and when you think about it, without tolerance, you really cannot have freedom. You see, wherever you have freedoms, personal freedoms, there must be tolerance. It is inbuilt, as it were, embedded. So without that tolerance, really, you cannot have peace. There'll be no democracy. There'll really be no peace, you know, in many ways. So democracy, tolerance is really
it's like Martin Luther King Jr. would say, I am free because you're free. I am enjoying peace because you're enjoying peace. In other words, we have to be tolerant.
And in a multicultural, in many ways, even in our own societies, you've got Mandinkas, Wolofs, you've got all of these different groupings. So it was this tolerance that glued us together. So that was why these things never mattered. Even Christians, Muslims, I mean, God, you wouldn't even know the difference. So we were blessed with that ever since. But maybe the slight sting in the tail here one might bring in is what they call the paradox of tolerance. Now imagine my 10-year-old or anybody's 10-year-old, you know, his observant kid watching the news. We say, but Dad, I remember you were talking about, or the police were talking about, zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. Now you're telling me all these wonderful things about tolerance. What do you mean by that? So now here we are brought to what they call the paradox of tolerance. I really cannot tolerate something like, for instance, hate speech.
Yes.
Should we tolerate it?
No.
So there's here, this is it, that's why they call it the paradox, the limits of tolerance. There is certain behavior, we really cannot tolerate it, otherwise it will destroy our culture of tolerance, if you know what I mean.
Zero tolerance.
Absolutely. Crime, even in societies, there are certain behaviors. I think if we really want to sort out corruption, now let us be intolerant about it, as it were. And it just depends on us. If society is really intolerant of certain things, people will not do it, or at least they're very, very careful not to do it because of the communal curse that you will get. So this is the key.
Interesting. It's a very good one, Mr. Mboj. And thank you very much. Viewers, you're reminded this program is sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions. For all your water dispensers and filters, they are located at Sukuta Jabang traffic lights. You can go and visit them and see if you can pick one or two things you would like. And this will take us to a short break. After the break, the newspaper review. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
got big decisions to make.
For this election, one decision is clear.
Who has the most experience?
Who brings the in-depth coverage?
Who brings you most relevant information?
Now is the time to watch your decision pay off.
Live non-stop coverage.
Live streaming on Facebook and YouTube.
Your text messages and election alerts.
Decision 2021 only on QTV.
Comprehensive election coverage.
Welcome back, and you're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Balde. This program is officially sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions for all your water dispensers and filters. They are located at Sukuta Jabang traffic lights. And this morning, we'll be going straight to the newspaper review. And Esonyasi will take us through the headline of the Foroya newspaper. What do we have?
All right,
there?
so on the Foroya newspaper front page, you have IC challenges all presidential candidates to desist from uttering inflammatory remarks. Finance Minister unveils government plans to land an additional submarine cable. Minister of Trade, ITC, launches Sea Trade Hub Gambia project. CSO coalition rather tax political parties to address Gambia's debt, combat corruption. Those are the headlines on the Foroya front page.
Okay, that's interesting. Let's take a look at the Standard newspaper. Court dismisses Juve's motion to suspend campaign.
Yeah.
GMC takes IEC to court, and of course, President Barrow received thunderous welcome in CRR North. Kande warns Gambians to reject vote buying, and of course, let's take a look at this paper, the Point newspaper. You have the Point there.
Yes, so on the Point newspaper, on the front page, there is no room for speculation on tax evasion. That is the GRA Commissioner General, a stunning welcome for Dabo as Badibu was 100% UDP. IC wants presidential candidates against personal attacks, insults, and others. I think it's the same we have on the Foroya. And Barrow promises 1,200-kilometer roads to end rice importation.
Okay, interesting. And now we'll go straight. Let's take a look at Standard. Mr. Mboj, court dismisses Juve's motion to suspend campaign. And what do you think of this? Juve is still very busy. I mean, pursuing his rejection. What do you think?
He's not now. The court has rejected it. We kind of suspected. Let's be realistic here, and maybe we shouldn't really spend more time on this. I mean, it might be the case that most of these people going to the courts will have their appeals, as it were, their petitions rejected. Let's just move on. So what next for him? That's up to him.
Interesting. What next for him? That's up to him. Exactly. So what about GMC takes IEC to court?
I think it's the same.
You'll probably have the same outcome.
I think for them, for CA and GMC, I mean, they're actually complaining about their rejection. Juve was actually asking the court to suspend the ongoing campaigns until they hear his case, which I don't think was actually going to happen.
Well, I mean, the dates are already set and the ball is rolling. I think it's too late.
Well, for me, there's something about GMC, the Gambia Moral Congress, when this has to be said. It was formed in 2016, and then was part of the coalition, granted. But in 2017, we had a National Assembly election. GMC
was formed in 2006.
Yes, didn't have a single member in there, and then afterwards we had the council elections and all the rest of it. GMC really never had any councillors and the like, so it appears as if it doesn't have quite the support when we look at these indicators. So what is not surprised that they couldn't fulfill, all of the criteria set by the IEC.
Let's take a look at Barrow received a huge welcome in CRR. It's like CRR people were ready for this.
That wouldn't surprise anybody. I mean, so far this is what we've been seeing. This is the pattern emerging, that wherever he's been, he will have these huge crowds coming. I mean, that is to be expected, not least because he is the president. That in itself is a magnet for many people to just go and see.
Mr. Bush, there's something very interesting. I saw a video circulating on social media, which I don't understand. It is difficult sometimes to understand how party militants behave. I mean, if I come to you as a political party, I give you my T-shirts, I give you my caps, and you said you're behind me. And if another political leader comes, you know, you remove all those things and take mine. I have seen that on video. So this is what I said to myself. I think Gambians, sometimes they don't understand the whole process.
Or maybe politicians do not understand people. There's no point crying over stuff like that. Oh, Gambians must change, Gambians must change. Change doesn't work like that. So people in authority, people, you know, who want our votes, you must understand how we are, as it were. So this is it for some people. I'm a political party, or supporting a political party is just like supporting a football team. Today I can support Chelsea, tomorrow I support Man United, next day I support Liverpool. So this is really what we're seeing with some people. But be careful here. I have a suspicion that people like that will never get up and vote. You see my point? So the serious ones, let's just focus on the serious ones, the actual voters. People who do that, you know that they're not committed to anything, they are unlikely to go and queue. We all know how it is like these things at polling booths.
Mr. Bush, if you tell me people like that will not get up and vote,
possibly. I said possibly. I said possibly.
Yes, possibly.
Yeah.
Because it's like recently we've seen the crowd politics in this country.
But that doesn't mean voting. We're talking about two different things. You can pull all the hundreds of thousands, but what you really need is that they wake up on the 4th and go and queue and vote. That is really the heart of the matter. Anything else, to my mind, is just a spectacle. It might have some psychological dividend, obviously. The larger crowd you pull, perhaps, that could work in your favor. You know, at least it's presenting favorably, and it could persuade some people to say, man, I might as well jump on the wagon and vote for him. So that is all. But it's on the voting day that matters.
And so people wear T-shirts and run. If you ask them, do you have a voter's card, they'll tell you, no, I don't have a voter's card.
Now I find that to be, I think it's quite unfortunate. You have, especially within, I mean, young people, you have a lot of young people who, you know, most of the people who you know, find on social media making all the noise, some of us don't either have a voter's card or come elections day, we don't vote. And for me, if you don't vote, you don't have a voice. Yeah, it's as simple as that.
Okay, let's go straight to Kande wants Gambians to reject buying voters' card. How do they buy voters' cards, Mr. Mboch? I want to know, because if I buy your voters' card today,
now you're sounding like he's done it before.
how do you buy? Yes. I just want to know.
That is slanderous.
I just want to know, Mr. Mboch, how do you buy voters' card? Because my name is written on my voters' card. And how do you buy it? I mean, are you going to use my voter's card?
My suspicion is what he's referring to is that, you know, imagine I have my voter's card, then you come and say, look, I want you to vote for me and I'll give you $10,000.
Yeah.
Maybe that is the sort of thing he's referring to.
I guess.
You know, buying the votes, as it were, yes, going to all these people with voters' cards and giving them money for them to vote for you. But what kind of person would do that? Because in the booth, you are the only one in there. It's a secret ballot.
I don't seem to believe that. Yeah. If I give you 10,000 today, if you go into the booth,
you just never know.
I mean, my brother.
In fact, what assurance do you have that I would vote for you when I go into that booth alone? You see, I think they're speaking about it, I believe, because it does exist, that these things happen. Otherwise, they wouldn't be talking about it. But for me, I think, you know, you should be guided by your conscience. And you know, you have to look at the collective interest. I mean, whoever convinces you during the elections, I mean, the campaign, and you look at the party manifestos and you're convinced, vote for whoever you're satisfied with.
Oh,
But,
Mr. Nyatsi.
yeah, man.
Oh, your idealism.
Oh, yes, man.
I wish that things were ideally so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, on the ground, life isn't like that.
Yeah,
Well,
for me, it's about, it's
You know,
about-
we're talking about voters card, and I'm checking whether my voters card is still here. I have my voters card.
I have
and-
mine in my bag.
Yes, I'm just waiting for the day to go and cast my vote.
Absolutely.
I won't make any noise about it. I'll just
That's
keep
how
it
it should be.
I will keep it cool.
That is how it should be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what do we have on Foria?
Yeah, so on the foray, I mean, I think for me, one of the most headlines on the front page is IEC challenges all presidential candidates to desist from uttering inflammatory remarks. I think this is important. Very, very important. Yes.
Absolutely. The inflammatory rhetoric
Yeah.
and all the rest of it. And he mentioned that they have a campaign code that everybody must follow, including the media.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody infringes these codes, what do they have? What sanctions do they have available to them? Yes, this is really key. This is the crucial moment. And for some people, when you hear the tone of some of these politicians, some people are saying that it is not helpful. My suspicion is that, you know, the blood is running high and passions are running high as well. You might get a few of those. So it is up to us, as long as you do not defame my name, you know, you follow the law on none of that. There's an aspect of what I can say that is regulated by the law. Defamation, I can take it to court. As long as we do not have that, we were talking about tolerance earlier on. Tolerance is really the key here. Nothing else.
Well, I think we have
really
a little noise in the studio.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think this will help us.
I think this brings us back to
Yes.
our today's proverb, tolerance. You know, to be honest, I mean, you can do your politics, you know, and argue or disagree with people based on policies and programs and based on your manifestos, campaign manifestos. But, I mean, anything beyond that, for me, wouldn't be in the interest of having a peaceful election. Because if we're talking about having peaceful elections, we have to really desist from making any such comments that would bring about, you know, conflict or anything. So I think this is a strong
you know
message
what
from
I
the IEC.
realized? I mean, even if you talk about it on newspapers, you talk about it on radios, you talk about it on TVs, officials try to see how people to desist from this. It's difficult, Mr. Mboj, because I think the mentality.
Let's put it this way: the peaceful people must never stop talking. The media.
Yeah.
They must never stop, you know, advocating, as it were. Yeah, this is advocacy now. They must never stop doing that. The security forces must also be ready.
Yeah.
So it is a multi-pronged approach to deal with that. We all know how crowds can be like. We all know that. And anybody, politicians, people, when they are desperate, they want office. We all know what they can be like. But when you have good people, that is why they say that sometimes the reason why terrible things happen is because good people sit by and allow bad people to do so. So society is like that. You're not going to get a homogeneous, we all agree on this or not. But you have these different sectors and they have their responsibilities. I, as an individual, I have my responsibility. Unfortunately, I cannot impose, another person see my perspective, but I will do what I can. Try to run a group that can help. The state institutions, what can you do? So when you have all these different factors converging, doing the same thing, then you minimize
and
the violence.
especially for us, the media.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
we should serve
minimize.
as
You can never-
gatekeepers and not provide a platform for any politician or anybody to,
That's it.
you know, make any comments that, you know, would bring about conflict. So we should also, you know, we also have an important role to play.
Definitely.
We must show judgment. I mean, just because a candidate says one or two things doesn't mean that I have to report it. Absolutely. There must be that editorial line. Call it censorship, fine. But it is for a broader purpose. There is no journalism that is neutral, really. At the heart of any language, there are values embedded in all language, so nobody can escape it. Some people just pretend that they are the objective ones, the impartial ones, and all of that. But when you look in the language, you see certain biases. So absolutely, yes, I'm biased towards peace.
Okay, and so just allow me. Mr. Boyd, can you take us through what democracy is?
Oh, please don't go there.
No, I just want to know, because you know what? I mean, sometimes the way people think what democracy is, and the way they should utilize that freedom, it's a bit different.
Okay, maybe you don't want to talk about democracy, you want to talk about freedom and licentiousness, these sort of things. Some people say freedom really is the search for a master. Freedom doesn't mean that I can just do anything what I want. It means control. For all of us to be free, I must control some aspects of what I do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I will interfere with your rights. It's just about respecting borders. You know, we all have our private rights and stuff like that. So that's all it is, you know, to control myself so that all of us can enjoy the public space.
Eso, you'll agree with me. When Barrow took over, I mean, people were saying it's democracy, we can do anything we want. I've had such comments many a times, Mr. Boyd. So that's why I ask you. People are abusing democracy.
I even heard that, but this is what we were talking about. In society, you'll see all sorts of these kind of people, you know, the thoughtless, the more thoughtful. So this is it. How do you deal with it? You know what I mean? We have talked, we have done all sorts. We do not know. So how do you deal with it? Let's just make sure that, you say, I'm back to law and order again. Our security forces, and absolutely this is what I, you know, believe. Our security forces, anybody who's going beyond line, well, we deal with you the way we need to deal with you. There must be the deterrence. Then others might sort of maybe think about it twice.
Interesting. So what do we have again?
So the CSO coalition tasked political parties to address Gambia's debt, combat corruption.
Yeah, that goes without saying. So we would like to think that all the 6 candidates have got their plans. How do you spur the economy post-COVID, given all of it, and otherwise none of your plans would come to fruition, really. You need to have the economy first.
Exactly.
Anyway, I think it's a good reminder for all the candidates.
Well, it's important for such things to be done. I mean, such a thing, it's good. As you know, the kind of system we have, so it will really help.
It's banal. It's going to be done anyway. It's banal. There's no need to tell me that, you know, we need to focus on the debt and that sort of thing. One expects that. That is really what the strategy is. That is really the plan.
For me, I see it as a reminder, you know, to all the candidates, that these are things we want you to focus on. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, what do we have again?
Stories.
Is that all?
Haven't got any papers?
Yeah,
You've got
I
more
think
than
we got
so,
this is the point.
No room for speculation on tax evasion, GRA, boss.
Yeah, so I was reading that. I'm saying that they will never act if they do not have proper evidence. You know, their actions will be based on evidence and not simply speculation and the like. And if anybody knows someone else trying to dodge paying tax, you may go and tell them, but please go and present the evidence as well. This was a training of their staff on revenue laws. Like, and it goes without saying that that's how it should be. Decision must be based on evidence.
That's important. So.
Yes, so I think that's all we have on the newspaper review. Mr. Boyd, thank you very much for joining us, and hope to see you again.
I'm sure you will.
Hopefully
Viewers,
tomorrow.
we'll be taking a short break, and we'll be back. Stay tuned.
Jalo Foundation presented Umu's mother, Khadijatu Kaloga, with $40,000 and a wheelchair. Khadijatu made a plea in February this year, asking for support to take care of her daughter, who has difficulty breathing and doesn't talk or walk. Salifu Jalo, the chairman of Aliu Saja Jalo Foundation, explains.
It was a news item from QTV that our people in the US pick up this story. And then they said, this is a story that we are interested in. and then we will try to raise funds to support the child. Because as a foundation, this is what is expected of you, to see what needs to be done, and you try your best to participate. We cannot do it all, but we just trying to participate in supporting the child. We are also calling on other people, philanthropists, foundations, anybody that can support to support this child.
Khadijatu Kaloga, Umu's mother, expressed joy for receiving the donation. She says she tried all means to seek for medical assistance abroad for her daughter, but to no avail. 38,000 euros is what is needed for her daughter's surgery abroad.
It's not easy. I have 3 kids. I'm a single parent. I'm the one who know how I be. You know, so certain time you have big family and other stuff, but not everybody will see you when you have something like sick more than 10 years. You understand? They will think this one like this. You cannot do anything. Some people, they will call me. I don't even know them. They will just ask me, "Are you the mother of Umu?" I say, "Yes." "How Umu is doing?" So Umu is fine. I know. They are with me, not me. The fight, I'm the one who give birth to this one, but the fight not only me. People are fighting over there. So I'm so happy, and I don't know, it's joy. Seeing everybody here today is big joy for me. It's a big, great and big joy for me. I don't know.
Aliou Saja Jallow Foundation was formed in memory of the late Aliou Saja Jallow, a benevolent man, a native of Kirmama village in the North Bank, who died in Spain at the age of 36. By Dudu Jallow, a brother to Aliou Saja Jallow, had this to say.
Thank you, TV and the journalist. But you have to say that we're just asking for people to be looking out for these kind of situations in our society. I'm sure there are so many stories like Umi's story in our societies. And we need to do a lot more. People have to focus on how to support each other. This is what binds society. And I think there are a lot of foundations, but if we are intervening in this kind of situation, we will be helping each other a lot.
Umu has been in this condition since birth. She needs medical attention and surgery to live a normal life. To help Umu, you can contact QTV at news@qtv.gm or call 32444444. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
Welcome back. Reminded you're watching This Morning here on QTV. And of course, this program is officially sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions for all your water dispensers and filters. And we'll go straight to the community watch. And of course, we have Abdullah Jallow, founder Aliou Saja Foundation. As you can see, as you've seen on the video, they've presented cars and a wheelchair to that family. Mr. Jallow, welcome to This Morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Valde.
Yes, it's good to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Can you take us through how did the whole idea of this Aliou Saja Foundation come about?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Balde and everyone around, and viewers as well. We're happy to be here at QTV, and thank you so much for the invitation. Actually, the foundation, I mean, the rationale behind the foundation or the motivation behind the foundation was the man who the foundation was named after, and that is Aliou Saja Jallow. That is a guy who died at a very early age. Notwithstanding, he achieved a lot in society in terms of intervening and helping people who are from disadvantaged backgrounds, in terms of sponsoring them to further their education at different levels and in different fields as well. And we were motivated by that. So we wanted to continue his legacy because that was his intention. So as a family and as a village, we are really interested in what he was doing, and we want to continue his legacy, as a matter of fact. So this is what motivated us to come up and team up together to intervene in society and try to help the underprivileged in particular.
Okay, what are some of the activities you do?
Yeah, thank you so much once again. I mean, we do, I mean, a host of activities. So we are not only limited to one sector, leaving the other sectors. We try to intervene more importantly in education, health, sports, because these are areas that you can easily touch the life of people. And we believe education is, as we usually say, it's actually the key. So it's very important for the future of any society, because that's where you can easily get the young people. So as a foundation, we are really passionate about education. So as a result, most of our activities, in fact, were centered in trying to upgrade the facilities that we have in the community of Kermama. Of course, we all passed through that school. So the first activity we did was to try to renovate the kitchen in the school, simply because WFP went to the school and they did an observation, and after the observation, they threatened the school that they are going to stop the school feeding, simply because the kitchen could not meet the standard. So we contacted some of our partners in the US, and in this case, our brother Babukar Jallo, actually, and the wife and co, they raised the necessary funds to renovate the kitchen. So we were able to raise it to the WFP standard, and still now the food supply is coming to the school.
Okay,
and that is key. That is very important.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Well, so it's very interesting.
Indeed, they're doing a lot of. They're giving out a lot of philanthropic support, and I think it's good. You know, it's a wonderful thing to do. It's an emotional moment for me, but I'm sure as we progress in this discussion, you would get to know why. Yeah.
Okay, tell us your partners. Who are you working with, hand in glove? Is there any organization that is supporting you, or do you have partners out there, individuals who are financing the foundation?
Yeah, actually, what is happening is the foundation actually is registered here in the Gambia and as well as in the US. So we have a brother, that is Babukar Jallo. He's there together with the wife and others as well. So the foundation is already registered, and we also have partners in Spain and of course Sierra Leone, and these people are really helping because they are passionate about the activities we do. So we coordinate, right, and try to see the areas that we can intervene in society and try to raise the necessary funds to intervene in those key areas. Yes.
Absolutely interesting. We've seen you've donated a wheelchair to a girl that needed help, and of course you've given her some cash. Take us through, how did all of this come about? Where did you get the story, and how did you come into helping this young lady?
Okay, from this point I will acknowledge the power and influence of media. This story, we just picked up this story from a news item that QTV did some time ago. So when we saw the story, then we feel that, okay, we are really interested in this. So what can we do as a foundation to make sure that we help? So that's where it all started. And then we said, okay, probably she will need a wheelchair, and of course, maybe a host of other things. So we might not know exactly what she is going to need, but we can raise funds and give it to the family so that they can help out. So, we did that, and successfully we were able to get the wheelchair, and we raised an amount of 40,000 that was given to the family last week.
Yeah. So they raised 40,000 and gave it to the family.
I just want to say thank you to Mr. Jallo here and the foundation, because this news item he's talking about, I did the piece, and when I first met Umu and the mom, she was in a very bad state, and it's really not been easy for the family. So to have your foundation, reach out to support the family, financially and with mobility as well, it just couldn't have been any better, really. And I personally, I really appreciate this, and I think I would want to call on others to also come forward and support, because I remember what she needed was over 30,000 euros, about 38, 37 euros, 1,000 euros, which is a lot of money. So given her condition, whatever amount that one tips in would go a long way, really, in even supporting the family as well, because they've been struggling all this while. So it's good.
Well, Mr. Jallo, as a foundation, we cannot deny that. I mean, sometimes you must have challenges. And what are some of those challenges? And what do you think should be done to address those challenges?
Okay, before moving to the challenges, I would just want to say something that touches my heart when we were doing the presentation at Almost Family. And that is seeing someone who has been struggling for nearly 10, 11 years. I mean, putting a smile on that person's face is really important. I mean, that was touching, that part of the presentation. Yeah, with regards to the challenges you're talking about, I mean, we all know it's not easy to set up organizations, particularly foundations. Usually, I mean, foundations are there to help out, to try to see what problems are existing there in society, and then you intervene. I mean, without expecting any returns, of course. I mean, you have a lot of people that are helping, but they expect something at the end of the day. But in this case, I mean, this is what we are doing. And right now, all the board members of the Aliu Sajar Foundation, I mean, no one is receiving anything I mean, in terms of enumeration and things of that sort. We are just sacrificing our time, our resources, and everything to make sure that, I mean, we have this going. So this is exactly what is happening. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Jallo, we've seen in the Gambia there are many foundations, and most of these foundations are accused of getting money from people. At the end of the time,
they call them money-making foundations.
Yeah. So at the end of the time, these monies will not be put where they are supposed to go. I hope you are not working that way.
Possibly no, because I mean, we are registered formally. I mean, and we have our constitution.
Well, registration doesn't matter.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say here is
most people are registered. I mean, in fact, to find an authentic registration document, it's very important.
Yes.
To show to your partners. I mean, most people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what can you tell us that will at least convince us these people are? No, I just want us to get it straight. I mean, people should know yours is different from how other people operate.
Yeah. I mean, what is important in this case is, initially I just said that the foundation is registered both in the Gambia and in the United States. And we are working together. I mean, and at the end of every period, we sit and review about the activities that we are doing. And with this foundation, I mean, we are not only saying things, but we are doing things in society, tangible things that you can see. You go to the school in Kirmama, there was a building, I mean, that was existing, but actually it was out of use at some point. So we renovated the whole building.
You're from Kirmama?
Yes, I'm from Kirmama.
Okay.
But actually with the help of Mori Keba, that is a brother who is also a native of Kirmama, but he's in Holland, together with Anki, that is the wife of Mori. So they started the project, but they weren't able to complete it. Then later the foundation completed the renovation of the building, and we painted the whole school. We provide furniture for all the 3 classrooms in that block. And of course, we also install, I mean, a solar system in the school, which is very important, because the kids in those areas, most of them are not exposed. I mean, they hardly watch televisions and things of that sort. But the moment we were able to get the solar system installed, I mean, education at that point, they were distributing TV sets. So Kirmama was lucky to get 1 TV set. And now the kids can be easily exposed to such programs. I mean, they can watch QTV and other programs
at
as
the
well.
school.
Exactly.
Can you imagine going
even
to school
at
and
night,
watching TV?
And even at night.
It's important. Because
it's very important. No, what I mean is, I mean, a kid from Kirmama watching TV in her classroom.
Say it's full of kids Kirmama.
You know? And what is important is, I mean, the teachers can go the extra mile and get, I mean, some videos, some stuff on a flash drive, put
important.
it, and show it to the kids, and that will help them in terms of the exposure. So these are things, these are tangible things we are doing. I mean, we are not only saying things, right? But we are trying to make sure that we transform society.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing to expand? I mean, we don't just want you to stop this gesture Kirmama or this area, we have a lot of places that need help. So what are you doing? Is it part of your plans to expand?
Yes, it is. In fact, what we wish is to make sure that we touch every Gambian. That's our intention. I mean, and when you see some of the activities we've done, it's not only limited to Kirmama. For example, we had a lot of medical supplies, right? And we donated to health centers around the community. And a typical example is the Kerchano Health Center. We did a presentation twice, right, of medical equipments. And those people were really happy because those are equipments that you can hardly find in any health center in this country. But they were able to get them. And that was done through the foundation. And in Umi's case also, you can see, I mean, she's not from Kirmama and not even somewhere near to Kirmama, but we intervene, right? So you can see that these are things that we're doing in different parts, in different areas of the country. And we are also planning a mega donation, right, of medical equipment. And I'm sure a lot of health centers. Right now, we listed 15 health centers, starting from SAO up to Farafenye. Our plan is to make sure that we help all these health centers with medical equipments that are needed in these areas. So, I mean, the first consignment has already arrived, and we're waiting for the second consignment. And in the presentation of this, we will also want to launch the foundation officially, because till now, it has not been launched.
Oh, officially.
And you can realize that all the things that we talked about here were only done within a year or so. Because the foundation was founded in 2020.
Oh yeah, 2020.
So you can see it's a recent one.
So I know Balde did ask about some of the activities that you engage in, but aside from this equipment that you donate to hospitals, and like the one you gave to Omu, are you also reaching out to schools? I know you did the kitchen, like sponsoring kids and all of that.
Yeah, we are trying.
You're looking.
Yeah, we are trying to do that because, I mean, we are focusing on education as well.
Okay.
So in terms of sponsoring students, what we did was last year, I mean, we selected the 3 best students from Kirmama, right, from the grade 9. And these students, I mean, 2 of them are in Nusrat Senior Secondary School and 1 is in Gambia Senior Secondary School. So actually what we are doing is we are sponsoring these students over time. Right, we are paying their tuition and giving them, I mean, books and everything, all what they need. So we want to follow them, right, up to any level, right? We want to make sure that I mean, they receive the best education possible.
Interesting.
That's important.
Yes, thank you very much,
thank you.
Mr. Jallo. This is all we have on the Community Watch. Thanks for coming, and I hope you will extend your hand to the rural area, maybe Koina, Fatoto, and Basse. You know, I think you will see people who need this, not because I'm from Basse, but I definitely want you to do that.
For sure.
You know, and hopefully we'll invite you again, you know, on another program.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much,
coming,
sir. We really appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you,
well, viewers, we'll go straight to, we'll take a short break. After the break, then we'll go on social issues. We'll be back.
You've got big decisions to make.
For this election, one decision is clear.
Who has the most experience?
Who brings the in-depth coverage?
Who brings you most relevant information?
Now is the time to watch your decision pay off.
Live non-stop coverage. Live streaming on Facebook and YouTube.
Your text messages and election alerts.
Decision 2021 only on QTV.
Comprehensive election coverage.
The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow. Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower, and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sunu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that break. And of course, be reminded it's this morning, wherever you're tuning. And of course, this program is sponsored by One Stop Water Solution for all your water filters and dispensers. They are located at Sukuta Traffic Lights. Go visit them, go window shop. You can get one or two things you like. Although I and Sonyasi, we promised to come visit, get some
we'll go
water
there.
dispensers.
When do we go there?
Let's see, weekend. Go get a dispenser, boy. It will be very good for you, yes.
Yeah, we go there.
This Sunday.
Are you promising?
Yes, this Sunday. Okay, now we'll go straight to social issues, electoral process and reforms. We have Palmer Khan, Director of Communications, IUC. Mr. Khan, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing? How are you feeling?
We're feeling great.
Yeah, I can see.
So far, we're feeling great.
It's been a lot of going and coming, a lot of activity, you know. We're discussing about electoral reforms. Can you take us through what is happening at the moment when it comes to the elections of Gambia? People are preparing for 4th December.
Yes, I would say it's not about reform at this point in time, but it's about implementation. Implementing, you know, the laws, the electoral laws, and all that, and also implementing the electoral cycle, the electoral, how do you call it, the calendar. Yeah. Like, you know, there was an electoral calendar which was issued out by the Commission sometime last year, which had in it programs of elections from 2021 to 2023. So right now, I would say we're just in the beginning. We just concluded the voter registration in May, June, July, and after which now we dealt also with the nomination of candidates, which is already concluded. And right now we're dealing with the campaign, which of course leads us to the election, the presidential election of 4th December 2021. So I would say so far so good. It's moving very well for now.
Well, interesting as well. He said it's moving very well.
Yes. You had over 20 aspirants, or do I say Gambians, who expressed interest to take part in the elections initially. And we went through the nomination process. Some were disqualified. In the end, 6 made it through. Campaign is on. So far, no hitches?
Well, it was hard, and of course, the tasks were there, but the tasks were surmounted, thank God. So right now it's the campaign, and we have 6 candidates that are on the campaign trail, 5 from political parties and 1 as an independent. And I would say for now they've been campaigning very well, because they had their programs across the country, and I would say this is day 8 of the campaign. On the 16th, that's day 8 of the campaign. So I would say the first week has gone very well, because all the candidates, you know, had the opportunity to go around the places they identified for the campaign. They passed on their messages, and this was done in very organized fashions. Of course, we saw the fanfare and also the crowds that turn out in most of these campaign meetings and rallies, which I think is remarkable, meaning democracy in Gambia is growing. And then also one striking factor that I have to say, that's the level of collaboration between the various political parties. I think I have to say this, and this is very important. We've seen this happen on various occasions when political parties, like even in the campaign, they would collaborate, you know, to map out their routes and all that, the various routes that they have to take to and from their campaign venues. So I think this is remarkable. This is what we expect. It's all about democracy. It's all about the people. So I think it's up to the candidates and the parties to go out there and talk to the people. And then the decision lies with the people now, the voters, who would say, yes, we want this guy to be our president, or we want this guy to be our National Assembly member, or this guy to be our mayor. So like it said, power belongs to the people. So make sure that the campaign, they pass their messages to the electorate who would filter, and then they would make a decision as to who leads them in the next 5 years.
That's an important decision. You mentioned a few moments ago that campaign is going very fine so far. No major issues to worry about, but the Commission have issued a statement warning against inflammatory utterances, especially during the campaign. Any concerns, or this is just a reminder?
Yes, I would say for now this is a reminder, like it's a process. So I think it's important that you engage people, as they go along. Make sure that some of those small hitches would not come by. So the Commission did a press release, or I would say even 2 press releases, one on the campaign and also another on the court petitions. But regarding the campaign, this I would say was a reminder to the candidates to make sure that they campaign in a civil manner. Let them focus on their programs, let them focus on their political agenda, let them focus on their manifestos. So I think this is what we expect. Like the person going out there to campaign, to canvass for votes, you talk to Gambians, you talk to the electorates about yourself, about your program, about your party, how to convince them win their votes. So I think this must be the focus. You focus on yourself as a party, you focus on yourself as a candidate, and you talk about your programs. What do you have in store for Gambians once you're elected? So we're just trying to prevent issues where people would be, going too personal, personal attacks, slander, using inflammatory language, defamation and all that. So this is what we're just trying to forestall.
Yeah.
Make sure that people also, they take note that there is this thing, the campaign media rules, which of course guides the whole campaign process, which of course includes the media houses like QTV.
Sure.
How do you expect to comply in the campaign process, especially in relation to airing of messages? What message would you air to the public, and what message you must not air? So I think these are important things that we have to know as the media, and we also have to know as candidates and political parties.
Well, let me take you back to the nomination. We've seen many parties have been dropped, and most of these parties did not meet the requirement to get voters from a particular area.
Region, yeah.
Was this not communicated to them?
Well, actually, okay, we're taking a step backwards to nominations, although we've concluded this and we're moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay, but nonetheless, I can just make some brief statements. That, of course, like when you come to collect a nomination file, it's called nomination papers in law. This is a collection of files that you are given. It's a package that you are given. And in this package, you have what is called the nomination guideline. This will tell you do A, B, C, and D. And not only that, also how to go about them. So I think this is a perfect way of completing your nomination papers. I don't know, maybe some don't have enough support, in the field or from the population, or sometimes they're not ready, maybe. I'm not sure. We need to do a study on that. Even I think it's quite evident that most of the aspirants, once they came to before the returning officer, most things were already in order. I think this was evident. You come to, what is expected is you come to nominate when you have everything in place. But you come to nominate, you should have A, B, C, D, E. You only came with A, B, or only A, B, C. So I think it means like some candidates are not really ready. We are not ready at the time, or some of the aspirants. And maybe they even lack support, from the grassroots. So, but this is a thing that we have to do a study on.
Exactly. And we've seen some party candidates who took IEC to court.
Yeah, still with the nominations. Yes, one party, a political party, that's the Citizens Alliance of Dr. Ismaila Cisse, and also
GMC, my party.
Independent candidate.
I've seen GMC.
GMC, that's news to me.
Takes IEC to court.
That's news to me.
Well, so, you are in court.
That's news to me. I know we have 2 court cases.
Now this is the 3rd one.
This is the 3rd one. Okay, we are ready for them. Don't worry. So they've made up their petitions to the High Court, and of course we're ready to substantiate the decision of the presiding officer, because I think it was all done according to law, and that's it. So maybe it's a court proceeding. I may not comment much on that for now.
Exactly.
So let's talk about December 4th. You're going to have first-time voters, and I think it's important that you remind us again or take us through the voting process. How is it going to take place? Where do you vote? And what is it that one should avoid come voting day, even with the dress code as well?
Oh, very well. I think this is the most important question of the day. That is, as a voter, what do you expect to do, or what I expected to do? Come voting day. We call it ED, election day. So first thing, make sure that you have your card ready. You have your voter's card handy, because you need to vote whilst you still have your card in possession. So make sure that you have your voter's card ready, number one. And also, bearing in mind that where you register is where you vote. If you registered in Bakote, make sure that, okay, Bakote, Bantaba, make sure that you just put it in the back of your mind that when I vote at Bakote, Bantaba. This is the hard and fast rule. Where you are registered is where you vote. So make sure that you always remember where you registered, and that's exactly where you're going to vote. And the next thing is that, like we're now in this era of COVID, so we urge each and every voter, when he or she comes to the polling station, he comes in a mask. So I think this is important. When you go to vote, please don't forget to have your mask on. You can protect yourself.
Yeah, I think I got my mask.
Oh, very well.
I got mine too. Let me put my mask on.
Oh, very well.
Let me mask up.
Very well.
It's very important. When you are voting, make sure you go with your mask.
Yeah, you make sure you go with your mask.
Exactly.
So that's very important.
Yes.
And also, of course, there will be other COVID procedures that would be done at the polling station. Like once you arrive, I think you'll be meeting somebody at the gate. This could be the police officer, and hopefully also the Red Cross. So anyway, you'll be meeting somebody who will be ready to
sanitize you,
to wash your hands. So this guy, please, once you arrive, so get ready for the passing.
Although I'm not with that one anyway.
I like the full
yes.
No. You
see? So get ready. So your hands will be sanitized.
Exactly.
Before you go in the polling station. So I think these are very important things that we have to take note of.
Okay.
One, don't forget your mask. One, don't forget to take your voter's card. Two, don't forget to take your mask. Three, get sanitized. And again, remember where you are registered.
Okay.
It's the same place where you're supposed to vote.
Mr. Khan,
so when you get to the voting
the polling station,
itself, the polling station, what should be your dress code? That's important, one. And two, I remember people being reminded during the last elections, or advice against making certain comments when you're within that environment. Could you take us through
Yes,
that?
very well. I think Mr. Nyasi made a very important point, that when you go to vote, you must not go with any party-affiliated color or party-affiliated material. Like when you go, you must not put on a party T-shirt, or on a party cap, or this political party insignia. How do you call it? Insignia, material symbols. You must not do that. When you go to vote, go normal. So you must not take any campaign materials along when you're going to vote.
Okay.
And again, I know some people say that, okay, all the colors have been taken, but I know some dresses, like Mr. Balde, your dress, you may not associate with any political party. And yours too, Mr. Nyasi. And maybe mine too.
Yes. No, yours is light yellow.
No, maybe this is cream.
It's cream. So is that cream?
It's cream, right?
Maybe I'm not saying it properly.
Maybe it's cream.
And also, you may have Mr. Balde maybe standing somewhere around the corner telling me, make sure you vote for Mr. Khan. Comments like that.
Yeah, that's called canvassing. So you must not canvass for votes at the polling station. And in fact, it's important to know that all campaign stops on the 2nd of December, meaning that on the 3rd of December is what we call cooling off day. So on the 3rd December, no campaign of any sort, no campaign of any kind must be conducted. This is across the country, whether in the streets or elsewhere. Meaning that on election day, also no campaign. You must not canvass for votes. Canvass means like you just stand in a corner, then you accost people saying that, okay, please vote for this guy or vote for that guy. No, this mustn't happen. And in fact, this is an offense on the electoral laws. So it must not happen. So if people are advised that let them come to the polling station just for business. Just come, cast your vote, go back to your house. Yes. Although we also have other people who would be at the polling station, so they may stay for longer hours. Like you have the observers, the election observers. We have many of them this time, both domestic and international observers. You also have the media, of course. I know QTV will be out and about.
Yes, my colleagues are asking if the media can be given the priority to vote early so that they can go and continue with their job.
Yes, that may be an issue, although we have to finalize the negotiations. I know for many people they may ask for priority, and even some they may ask for election duty. This allows the person to vote anywhere that you are located.
I remember in 2016 we were given priority.
Yes, but in this case, I think we have to work on the priority making. But also now, I think we have too many media houses. So you can't give a priority to 100 people, whilst 50 people are in the queue waiting.
So in other words,
so that may be an issue.
We're also encouraged to try and wake up as early as possible.
Very well, very well. So this is what we're encouraging.
Yes.
That please, I'm sure you registered by your house. Just the nearest police station to your house, just go in there quickly and vote.
And so what is 4th December? Is it Saturday?
On a Saturday.
Okay, I'll be voting in Lemon. So from voting, I go back street and sleep.
I hope Mr. Ade and Francis would also allow me to do the same.
Okay. I wanted to ask this final question. I wanted to ask how many polling stations do we have, and how many regions are we going to vote? I mean, how many polling stations?
Actually, we have 1,554 polling stations across the country. And you know, this is a presidential election. It is considered as one constituency. I know we have 6 regions, and we have how much, 53 constituencies in practice. But for the purpose of a presidential election, the whole country is, termed as one constituency. So it's one president who represents the whole country. So this is why the presidential election, the country is, viewed as in one constituency. And then you have the 1,554 polling stations, across the country.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Khan, for coming on this morning. Yes, and thank you for coming. We appreciate the time that you've given us. Well, viewers, we'll take a short break. After the break, and Mr. Ade will be here for some sports. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
You've got big decisions to make.
For this election, one decision is clear.
Who has the most experience?
Who brings the in-depth coverage?
Who brings you most relevant information?
Now is the time to watch your decision pay off.
Live non-stop coverage.
Live streaming on Facebook and YouTube.
Your text messages and election alerts.
Decision 2021 only on QTV.
Comprehensive election coverage.
The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow. Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower, and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sunu Calpe. Terms and conditions.
QMoney, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now you can link your QMoney wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your QMoney wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using QMoney Bank Link is the fastest, most secure and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. QMoney, Sunu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that short break. And let's take a look at sports now. And we have our own Mr. Ade Drame.
I'm doing my Gajaga impersonation for the second day. And for those of you who are missing Mamadou Gajaga, he'll be back next week. But for now, you'll have to put up with me. And exciting day today in African football. Why? Because the World Cup qualifiers reached their climax. There are 10 games today. There were 4 yesterday. But it's quite weird because although there were 4 games yesterday, none of them actually was a crucial game that sort of meant the qualification depended on it. And yet of the 10 today, several of them are actually quite crucial games. But before we get on to that, I think we must start with the big talking point in African football, and that's to do with the Ghana versus South Africa game.
Yeah.
It's been reported, I reported myself, that in fact Ghana won a very well taken penalty. But now South Africa have actually challenged the results and want it overturned, and they want the match replayed. They're not just contesting the penalty decision, which was soft. I mean, if that was given against my team,
controversial, really.
Yeah, if that was given against my team, I would be livid. I would be really angry. And so you could understand. But we've seen, when I looked back at some of the qualifying games, actually there've been worse decisions. But I think the reason they're challenging it is because it was important. It was the only goal of the game.
Yeah.
Had they got a draw, they would have gone through at the expense of Ghana. And of course, if they'd won, they would have gone through. But they lost. But not only are they disputing that in terms of the penalty decision, but they claim that there were several other refereeing irregularities. And they use this rather distasteful phrase in the press release they put out, saying that the authorities didn't want them to win and had already decided that Ghana should go through. I thought that was disgraceful of them. It's all right to challenge the results, but to then impugn the integrity of people, I think, is going beyond the bounds of what is acceptable. No. So we will see how that one will pan out. So as I said, today, 10 crucial games. Big teams in danger of not making it through to the World Cup. And really, I guess the biggest clash, without a doubt, is, of course, Ivory Coast against Cameroon. Great rivals over the years. It comes down to this one. Ivory Coast are leading by 1 point. A draw will be enough for them to go through. Cameroon have to win. And Cameroon are the kind of team you couldn't write them off if they need that sort of victory. But having said that, Ivory Coast have got a really good team right now, and chances are they'll see out the victory or even get the draw that they require. So it's on a knife edge. And for many people, I guess myself included, the most intriguing tie of the day features Africa's most populous nation against its least populated nation. So you couldn't make this up if you were writing a Hollywood script. It's Nigeria, 250 million or whatever, against Cape Verde, only 580,000 population. comes down to the wire.
250 million.
You didn't know that?
I don't know.
Where have you been? Where have you been?
Well, if Nigeria is 250 million, then Gambia.
It's big, you know. And of course, Cape Verde have to win. Only victory will do. And the game is being played in Nigeria. And Nigerians are going to hate me for this, but I've been saying it throughout the campaign. I have been seriously unimpressed with them. They've not looked good. And they've got a great squad. And yet, they've not put on really good performances. They've not impressed me in any game. And yet, they're on the verge of making it through. And I guess, you know, once they get through and they go and play on better pitches, we'll see the quality shine through. I mean, I have to say this, I'm rooting for Cape Verde, kind of David against Goliath type situation. But my head, you know, my heart says Cape Verde, but my head says Nigeria will see out, you know, either the draw or the victory that they need to progress. And so I think they'll go through. And so also in African football, historic times, first ever Women's Champions League.
Yeah.
And Hazakas of Ghana against Mamelodi Sundown of South Africa have made it through to the final. And I have to say this, I love football, but I don't watch a lot of women's football. I have to be honest about that. But I've taken an interest since the Champions League was proposed by CAF. And I have to tell you, I watched the game yesterday between Hazakas of Ghana and Asfar of Morocco. Absolutely fantastic game. Asfar ended up losing, but they played some unbelievable football. If anybody has a chance, go on YouTube. The whole match is there, and you will see some fantastic skills. I felt sorry for them that they lost, but there you have it. And in the other game, where Mamelodi Sundowns triumphed, that was even more heartbreaking. Because the first game had ended goalless, second game had ended goalless, and so it went to penalties. And they won on penalties against Malabo Kings. And, you know, again, heartbreak. The quality of the football wasn't as the same standard as in the Hazakas game, but nonetheless, very, very high quality. And I think this bodes well for the competition in terms of women's football, CAF. And, you know, hats off to CAF to finally get a women's Champions League going. In the end, there were only 8 teams, which tells you that, you know, women's football is not as established in Africa as obviously the men's game is. But nonetheless, I think this bodes well for the future, and it bodes well for the likes of Gambia.
Well, I'm told that you should introduce your video now.
Well, you know what, the video, you know, sorry to say this to my colleagues in the video was meant to just be playing whilst I was speaking. Sorry to say that. Because, I mean, if we play the video, you'll see what I've been talking about. So the headline on the video is actually South Africa challenging this result, you know, against Ghana, where they lost 1-0. And, you know, I watched that game, as I said yesterday when I talked, and it was a really good game, really tight contest. And it was a shame that it had to be settled on such a controversial measure. Again, yesterday I said the penalty was well taken by Andre Ayew. And on the balance of play, actually a draw probably would have been a fairer result, which would have taken South Africa through. But nonetheless, Ghana held on, and they made it through. And so, you know, the next thing I talked about, of course, is the Women's Champions League. Big competition, first time ever. Obviously, the Men's Champions League in African football has been long established. And so finally, CAF got around to do it. And, you know, people were kind of, you know, thinking, you know, what's the quality of football going to be like? But it's been excellent. Really, really good advert for the women's game. And I think, you know, everybody who supports football should.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ade. I mean, they said time is up. And we're going straight to the click segment. Thank you, Mr. Ade, for coming on this morning.
And I won't criticize you for taking up some of my time with the previous guest. It was important. It was important.
Thank you very much. We'll go for a short break. After the break, Skankman will be here on the click segment. We'll be back.
The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow. Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
The biggest mobile money service in the Gambia has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now you can link your QMoney wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your QMoney wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using QMoney Bank Link is the fastest, most secure and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. QMoney, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Join the Gambia's fastest growing network and enjoy high-speed 4G LTE. Dial star 335 hash to subscribe to QCell's 4G.
You've got big decisions to make.
For this election, one decision is clear.
Who has the most experience?
Who brings the in-depth coverage?
Who brings you most relevant information?
Now is the time to watch your decision pay off.
Live non-stop coverage.
Live streaming on Facebook and YouTube.
Your text messages and election alerts.
Decision 2021 only on QTV.
Comprehensive election coverage.
Back from that short break. Thank you, Mr. Ade, for joining us on this morning. And we have Click now next, and I have Buba Fati with me, Skengman. Skeng.
Good morning, guys. It's an amazing day, actually. I'm not going to talk much because we run out of time. My guest in the studio today is Visual. Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you, Skengman.
It's a pleasure, man. I was talking about you yesterday, about the work you're putting in to make sure we have quality production when it comes to the music videos that we're seeing now. You're doing great, bro. So I had to invite you to the studio to come join me today. Let's talk about your work, man. But first of all, tell us about you. Who's Ann, and what got you into production?
Yeah, my name is Alpha Ann. University final year student, studying economics. Also the founder of Visuals. Yeah, that's basically me.
So, like, what got you into video production?
I would say just the game right? I can remember early 2019, no, late 2019 to early 2020. I had this friend. He's an artist, and then you know, it's not easy being an upcoming artist, and then you have to pay for flyers, you have to pay for videos and that. So I had to help him. So there was this time we had to go to someone for a flyer, and I was like, boy, small phone bang for just some stuff. And then I did the flyer for him, and then the next thing was a video. Now we need a video, and then the same thing. I was like, boy, I have a phone, let's try that way. And then we went to locations, did a couple of shots, and then it turned out horrible, but then I learned from it, and then I started building the passion for this.
So far, as a visual producer, how are you enjoying the work so far? Is it enjoyable, or are you just doing it for passion?
I'm doing it for passion. It's 100% passion. Yeah, 100% passion.
What is the line of work with Gambian artists, actually? Because you see, it's like you're taking over the industry now when it comes to visual production. You're doing great. You've done so many videos for Gambian artists and some other artists in Senegal as well. How are you coping with that? What is your relationship with some of the Gambian artists as well?
It's smooth. It's smooth. I have a good relationship with them. Most of these artists, when they see me, like small guy, they'll be like, hey, Kondo be my aunt. Most of the times they like me, and then the vibe is
exactly
there.
Yeah. For real, man. So with your schooling and the work you're doing, because they are two hectic things. Video production is really hectic. You spend days working on concept, working on editing your videos and other stuff like that. How do you work with the two together? Being a student and then being a producer as well.
It's very, very hard, but then, you know, my passion for video is like up there. So, and then I'm studying economics in school. So most of the times it helps me with the financial aspect of my business too. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't want, it's like you don't want setting it, you're paying the bills now. It's like the videos is paying the bills for you, bro. For real, man, this guy is making money.
Nah.
I'm not going to say much. Let's go for a quick breather. And when we come back, we continue the interview and wrap it up.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro.
On a Monday, I'm dealing with far too. Tuesday, I go for the way I do. Girl props, I'm ready to get high too. Check code, them I grow from high school. Ballin', be a bull fella, they hornin'. Make their heads go burning. Me, I just give them warning. Ballin', be a bull fella, they hornin'. Make their heads go burning. Me, I just give them warning.
That's An, man. He's doing big, man, to be honest, man. I saw the video with Hussein as well, the one you did recently, Bye Bye. But that was a massive, man, to be honest, man. No cap on that, man. What is your plan for 2021 and 2022 as a visual production? What is so unique about you that you want to put in your work for this year and next year?
For me, the learning part is very, very important to me. When I'm working 40%, no, 90% of my time I'm learning. I'm home doing research. And I have only young people in my team.
Okay.
They're doing research. They only focused on this thing, on the visuals thing. They're not doing any other thing, no other work.
Yeah.
So we have big plans for 2022.
Yeah.
We have equipments coming too.
Okay. Are you trying to work on any visual I don't know how to call it, expedition for next year as well? Because you know people don't do that actually, but I think we should be putting our work out there to people, wherein you can have an expedition, people come and see the work that you've been doing, and then give you credit for whatever you're doing in the community as well.
Idea.
Are you trying to work on that as well?
No, I don't have a plan for that.
But I think you should put that into consideration as well.
I'll talk to my team.
Yeah. Now your final words out there to your fans, and then we wrap it up because we're running out of time. Bro.
Okay. Thank you, and then you guys, I would love to acknowledge your presence. Keep supporting Gambian music, and then election buinyoni. Let's vote in peace, and then
How about you work on a mini documentary too for the election?
For the election.
Talk about peace as well. You can do that. You know, you have linked with all of these Gambian artists. You can come together, do something like that, and then put it on YouTube.
Yeah,
Even if you bring it here, I believe we'll play it for you guys.
Okay.
Because just sending out peaceful messages. And from my end, I'm saying bye-bye till I come your way tomorrow. From my end, it's This Morning and Click Entertainment. I'm Skengman Swize.
Thank you, Buba. Skengman.
From us too.
Yes. We are saying bye and thank you. See you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.
ndox mu set dafa bokk ci dunni doomu aadama te biir kat amul seetu waral na lépp lu fay dugg dafa war a doon li nga xamante ne ni du indil doomu aadama bi loraange ci wàllu wér-gu-yaram One Stop Water Solution Limited ñu ngi fii ci biir réew taxaw temm fexe pour gis ne doomu aadama bu ne di nga naan ndox moo xamante ne ni ndex mu sell te wóor la ndax indil nañ leen ay xeetu filtres yi nga xamante ne ni mun ngeen koy jëfandikoo ci seeni pompe yi ci biir réew moo xam booxool ngay jëfandikoo wala pompe nawek yi ne bépp xeetu filtre bi nga xamante ne ni dina la indil wér gu yaram musal la ci loraange amal nañ leen ko ci biir réew am nañ 10-inch filter set of 3 bii nag ñett lay àndal bu ci ne ak li muy liggéey bokk na ci 5 micron pp sediment filter bii nag mooy segg ndox mi ba mu set génne fa lépp li nga xamante ne ni warta ànd ak ndox moomu bala nga koy jëfandikoo gat granule carbon filter bii nag mooy segg génne lépp lu xeetoog chemical ak organique yi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo nekk ci biir ndox mi sellal ndox mi ba waral mu soppi li nga xamante ne moom la ndox mi di saf mu soppi cafin gi def ko ndox mu sellate óor CTO block carbon filter bii nag du yem rek ci segg ndox mi sellal ko ba mu sell waaye nag daf koy yokk ay ngéneel yi nga xamante ne ni day baax ci wér gu yaramu doomu aadama bi dëgëral waaye tamit yàggal lool sa yuur wi am nañ tamit 12-inch filter set of 3 boobu it liggéey bu nu mel lay def ñetti filter yépp benn bu ne ak lu muy liggéey am nañ 10-inch post carbon 10-inch coconut carbon 75 GPD pure one membrane bi amal nañ leen bépp xeetu water tank tàmbalee ko ci 500 litres 5000 ba ci 1000 litres ak plumbing fittings kon nag mbokk yi bu ngeen buggee naan ndex yu sell te wóor seeti leen One Stop Water Solution Limited suñu makkaan bu mag baa nga foofa ca Sukuta Highway Mariama Kunda Johnson wala nga call ñu ci 505 5691 796 8272 One Stop Water Solution Limited ndox mu set mooy yàggal dundu ni doomu